Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. When you get back from the first, Varshan hits you with some not so good news. The seal around the Void Gate has nearly gone out entirely, so you all need to get ready to attack ASAP. Once Ishtola gets Zero back in her body, she is happy to see that the light ether that she absorbed is still there, so she didn't lose the power from the trip. That's good, because she'll need it soon. Varshan heads off to switch into his dragon form, while the rest of you hop back to the moon to get ready for your final assault on the Void. Once Varshan makes it, you all head through the portal. The ether around Golbez's base has changed, which makes Zero pretty sure that the man has made some new and not so pleasant surprises for you all. But you all have one for him too, so you set up the ether transmitters and fire all of the light ether you gathered right into the heart of the crater. It makes a hole that's not nearly big enough for Dragon Varshan, but he brought the smaller vessel so he can join you on the inside. He can sense his sister's ether trapped inside of Zeromus, so he's definitely coming with you, and you'll need him because Zero can sense that Golbez filled the place with void scent. You all jump into the darkness and set off to hunt Golbez down, because you all know that the man won't let you just walk in and finish off Zeromus without doing things to make your job difficult. But before you finish him off for good, Zero wants to talk to him. That part will have to wait because he didn't gather a small number of void scent. There are a lot of them that you have to cut through. But that's not all. As you fight your way deeper into the crater, the Memoria crystal that you found draws you into the memory of the day Durant and Golbez went back to their capital city right after Zero refused to join them. You help the man fight to protect the villagers from the corrupted Memoriates and their pets, but when you reach the end, Golbez gets corrupted and turns into a monster. So to avoid leaving his friend to roam around as the very thing that they fought against, Durant corrupts himself so he'll have the strength to put his friend down. Since you're playing the role of Golbez in this vision, you have to face off against him. When it's done, Durant strikes down his hero and seals him inside of a crystal before deciding to take over his life and fulfill his wish to help the world. It's very Cloud and Zack from Final Fantasy VII like, where one man takes over the life of a fallen friend and pretends to be him. Now that you've seen what happens, you're all freed from the Memoria crystal, and Zero finally realizes that the man you all thought was Golbez was actually Durant. The fake Golbez finally shows up to face you again in person. Since the man's primary goal is to save his world, Zero tries to use Naruto's famous Talk no Jutsu to try and reach common ground with the man, since she does want to save the world too, just not by invading another one. She thinks that if they work together they could find another way to do it, and he'd be all for it if she had more power than Zeromus. But since she doesn't, none of what she says means anything to him. Being weak and idealistic doesn't trump power no matter how noble your cause, something that got proven to him in the very battle you relived. He had given up after that, but an Ascian came to him and brought him to the moon where the Watcher lived. The Ascian claimed that him and the other servants of light had given people the powers that had made the Contra Memoria War last so long, so Golbez killed him. Turns out what the Ascian said was a crock of crap, and the Watcher was the only thing keeping the Flood of Darkness from taking the world, so when Golbez killed him, the Flood hit. He's basically Arbert 2.0, but there was no Menphilia to stop the Flood, so the entire world died. The Ascian hadn't planned on destroying the world, but she was like, oops, and left, leaving Golbez to deal with the aftermath. And that moment made him stop trusting people, relying only on his own skills to figure out how to fix what he had started, so he could give his people back the ability to die. Ashdaya showing up had given him the ether he needed to experiment, but what he needed was more power. He didn't get it until the day the piece of Zodiac that was sealed on the moon exploded into a cloud of ether, something that happened the day the Warrior of Light killed him on the source. All shards of Zodiac died with the original, but since ether can't go into the life stream from the void, it stayed there, and Golbez was able to use it and the dragon to come up with a way to break the barrier between worlds. Now he's on the final stage of his plan, and he won't let any of you stop the super void scent from fully waking up. That means it's time for a fight. Golbez was ready to delay you all even though he's still hurt from your last fight, because while you were away he used the remains of his Archfiend's ether to restore them. They're not nearly as strong as they were before, but they can still stall for time, which is all Zeromus needs to wake up. So the no longer Scions of the Seventh Dawn and Zero deal with them, while the Warrior of Light jumps feet first into the darkness to try and put down Zeromus before he wakes up and starts the Void Scent invasion. Since it's merged with Ashdaya, the thing's only goal is to go back home to the source, and that means cutting a path through whatever's in front of it, starting with the Warrior of Light. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share it, and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you can, and I'll see you all next time.